And the feeling, Jerry Taggart, is one of numbness, really. Everyone is stunned. It's difficult to comprehend the 45 minutes we have just witnessed.
Yeah, when you see results like that, or change arounds like that, and especially, you know, the way the winning goal was scored. So, you know, everyone will be bitterly disappointed with the way this game has ended up.
It'll be dissected by Ewan and Matt, with Dan. Thoughts from Jerry as well. We'll get some post-match reaction on Fox's Hub. But the fight goes on for Leicester, in such a good position at half-time, but they end up losing the game, and it's Southampton who are celebrating on that far side. Final score at a rather shell-shocked King Power Stadium: Leicester City 3, Southampton 4.
Thanks, Chris. It's a rather shell-shocked studio as well, we'll be honest. Matt Elliott and Ewan Roberts with me, Dan Bates. Jerry Taggart will remain with us. And really, shell-shocked probably is the only word to use right now. I said at half-time we were happy shocked, weren't we? Now this is just another level, really. Quite unbelievable, actually, what we've seen in that second half.
Well, we're not in a position to be speechless, but it pretty much makes you feel that way, doesn't it, really? I mean, how things transpired in the second period is incredible in very much the wrong way. Many things we can talk about and mention about it, but it won't ease the pain in any way, will it, really? It's just an incredible game, football, isn't it? We were talking about, you know, a welcome relief at half-time, seeing Leicester City as buoyant as they were, as energised as they were, and then, I suppose, in a hugely magnified way, it sums up the season a little bit, in too exaggerated a sense, but the inconsistency has been a problem for Leicester City throughout the campaign, and it was just totally emphasised in that game, wasn't it? First and second half, total contrast.
I mean, you'd have been gutted with a point from that game at half-time.
Yeah.
But to get nothing, to come away empty-handed, you know.
You thought surely not, didn't you? For the winner, or the loser, if you like.
You know, they made 3 changes for the second half, positive changes. I just thought it became a basketball match, if that makes sense. They attacked, we attacked, too open, instead of, making sure we close up shop, we make sure they don't get a goal. People will look at centre halves, you know, not picking up their players, and I think Stewart gets across O'Coley. Bit too simple, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's an awkward
But you've got to stop the cross, Dan. You've got to stop the cross. You've got to get pressure on wide people, putting quality in. I don't think Abdul gets back really well to help Ricardo out, but doesn't get tight enough. It's a really good ball in. Stewart gets across, O'Coley touches it. Make good decisions, not bad ones, or make more good decisions than bad ones. We're sat at the back of the stand here for the second goal, and I'm screaming at Luke Thomas, don't foul him, don't foul him. What happens? He pushes him in the back. It's a blatant free kick within 30 seconds, and you can just sense the whole atmosphere of the stadium sort of change. And you know, you can't blame the supporters with the season that the club's had, but that anxiety comes in, that nervousness comes in. And I said to Matt when the Sellers came on, what did Andy go a little bit too safe, a little bit too early? You know, with 15 minutes to go, he goes to 5 at the back. And if I'm the opposition's manager, I'm thinking they're going to try and see or defend their way out in the last 15 minutes. And that's what happened.
Jerry, you've had a couple of minutes to try and gather your thoughts a little bit. How are you feeling right now? And it looks like a very empty stadium now, and that's probably understandable, certainly from a home supporter's point of view. Yeah. That's a really difficult pill to swallow, isn't it?
Oh, I'm shell-shocked. Like, probably 100% even the Southampton fans will be shell shocked, but in a different way after what's happened. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to put into words, isn't it? First and foremost, I think if you're analysing both halves, I think in the second half Leicester were just a little bit more passive, allowed Southampton too much time, too much space. Ewan's just mentioned putting balls in the box. Southampton put umpteen balls in the box that Leicester weren't able to stop, and in the first half that didn't happen. Leicester were on the front foot, high tempo, putting Southampton under pressure all round the pitch, and unfortunately they couldn't keep that momentum up in the second half. Yes, you've got to say as well that Southampton, the changes they made a difference, but okay, you could say okay, maybe make a difference for one of the goals, but I mean, for them to concede 4 in that second half, I mean, it's just quite unbelievable.
Yeah, it's difficult, Jerry, really to find the words and to figure out what almost to say, and I don't envy you three having to do the majority of the talking, but again, it just felt really, really low, didn't it? I think even when that third one went in, when that fourth went in, we were in the studio by that point, but the supporters that were in, probably, I don't know how they were able to react, a mix of anger and probably sadness, like we've all got, Jerry. Yeah,
I mean, as you say, I think straight from the kick-off, though, Dan, I think I was talking and I was saying, at half-time, you've got to make sure you put in the players' minds that, okay, everyone knows it's 3-0, but you try and get that focus back to 0-0. Can we win the second half? Or do not lose the second half? And you split the game down into 2 halves of football. For that reason, because of being 3-0 up, a little bit of complacency can slip in. You might want to be saving your legs so you can get through to the end of the game. So you're not going to be closing down as much. The tempo of the game is not going to be as high. And slowly but surely you just seen that. And the players will know that. That the tempo in the second half just wasn't to the same standard. But even saying that doesn't mean that, you think because of that Southampton are going to come out and score 4 goals and beat you 4-3. And I think it was just the momentum that they build. They get the first, then the second, and then when the second one goes in, you could see that Leicester were, scrambling a bit. There was a bit of nervousness around. We didn't see Harry Winks or Ollie Skip get on the ball as much as we'd have liked, and just to slow things down a little bit and just string a few passes together. Well, we've seen it once or twice, but that's where you need your players like Winks and Skip just to take the sting out of the game. We didn't really see that enough in the second half.
I mean, there's periods in games, and you don't want the first half to finish. And I think that was the case for Leicester, because we played that well in that first half, scored 3, dominated the game. You don't want the whistle to go. You just like to sort of turn around, start the second half straight away. First half whistle couldn't come soon enough for Southampton. They had nothing to lose in that second half. They went for it. They were brave. They were a bit sort of gung-ho at times because they needed that next goal. If Leicester had gone 4-0 up, literally, I mean, it should have been game over anyway at 3. But it just gave them a lifeline, that first goal. And as I say, you could just sense the nervousness creeping in. And Taggart is spot on where, Skip, and especially Harry Winks in that first half, outstanding. Everything went through them. The tempo and the passing, the movement was good. The chasing, the putting Southampton players under pressure, getting your tackles in, getting nice and tight. Didn't do it in the second half. Did not do it in the second half, and that's why Southampton have gone on with all 3 points, and it's a devastating blow, Dan. The club's low enough as it is, but what's that? 1 point from the last 6 games now. It is worrying times.
The extra disappointing thing about that is Leicester have had practice or similar situations in terms of playing well first half, having a lead on numerous occasions this season. They haven't had the 3-goal advantage, but they've had advantages at half time. And then there's a little bit of a mentality test in those situations, as Jerry and yourself, you are touching on. How do you deal with that? And if you go within yourself, the opposition pick up on it as well, and they get a little bit of joy, and all of a sudden they're encouraged rather than thinking, oh, we've nicked one back. At 3-1, it wasn't really a massive problem. Southampton didn't genuinely think. You saw in their celebration, they were like, all right, we nicked a goal. It's unlikely. The second goal was key. Then they were really on the hunt. But Leicester's mentality totally changed. And I'm sure it wasn't probably under instruction. There might have been a combination of like what we were saying at half time. Listen, strive to get that fourth, of stroke dominate as best you can, but protect that lead as well. So it's a balanced thing. It's not totally one or the other, in my view, because you're running a risk either way. But Leicester played as if like it was not casual, but as if, yeah, 3's enough. That'll do. No one chucks that. And then all of a sudden it crept in, and then all of a sudden bad decisions going on left, right, and centre. There's too many to mention, both individually and collectively.
I mean, it's not a case of sort of sitting back and trying to see the second half out. You've still got to have some.
That's too straightforward.
Yeah, you've still got to have some sort of attacking threat to take the pressure off you. But you've just got to keep that solid.
Finding a mix, isn't it? Finding a balance.
So that's solid balance of, right, no gaps, no spaces, nothing behind us. We're going to make it impossible. The 2 midfielders are just going to sit in front of 2 centre halves. Your wingers are going to get back and help your full backs. And sometimes you need, and it frustrates me at times when your centre forward comes back and makes another body in midfield. You know, you need an outlet at times. You need a body to hit there to take the pressure off you. And when we won the ball back in our final third, when you're looking at, there's no one to hit because Patson Daka had sort of come in and joined midfield, and there was just no outlet, and it was wave after wave after wave of Southampton attacks.
Just quickly, Dan, sorry, but Jerry and yourself, both in agreement with you in different things you've said, but you saw the evidence there with the first goal about the crosses, about you're switching off, it's 3-0. Listen, we'll probably be all right if we don't quite close this down at my maximum. You saw the ease with which the ball came in the box, and then before you know it, it's got a cross, a Coley, Stewart, you know, and there's little mini mistakes adding up, bang, and they're back in the hunt.
That gives them a massive lift.
But because they've switched off a bit. First half, that wasn't happening. Leicester were pressurised up against them.
Jerry, finally, a penny for Andy King's thoughts, obviously, this evening. That's a really tough evening for him. What does he do this week at Seagrave, and next week, of course, leading into the next championship game? It's difficult, but obviously it's up to him, it's up to his staff and the players to raise themselves for the next game.
Yeah, you know, it's easier to have a knee-jerk reaction straight after a result like that. And in my opinion, that's a wrong thing to do. So I think, you know, this is a result that you'd like to think won't happen too often in most of the players stroke Andy King's career. So it's important that he, you know, takes time to think about what he's going to say and how he's going to react. What he says and how he says it is, you know, conjecture. But, you know, we play Southampton again in 3 or 4 days' time. So, you know, it's important that whatever he does say and however he does say it, you know, he gets, you know, the right reaction.
Thank you to Jerry Taggart on commentary duty alongside Chris this evening. Thanks to you and to Matt. We'll be back again for that game with Southampton at the weekend in the FA Cup. So you can join us for that one on Saturday afternoon.
Disappointment.
That is a 3 o'clock kickoff. So you can join us from 2. Thank you again to you two for your company and for helping us through that post-match, and hopefully we've helped some Leicester fans out there. And if you want to join us again at the weekend, please do so. We'll see you then. Everyone have as good a rest of the week at work as you can do following that one, but we're all feeling the pain just as much as you. Good night.